Sup to New Goggle, give me a sandwich. I'm Willie Dean, this is James B.
Hello mate, I am Oscar from heelpictures.
I'm Will from anything I can get.
I don't know who I am anymore.
Okay, that's handy.
This is James, affectionately known for this review as Caesar.
And we are here reviewing Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, the sequel to the prequel of the first Planet of the Apes film. But it's a sequel to Rise of the Planet of the Apes, which I really did like. What were your thoughts on Rise?
Brief
thoughts, don't like freaking go into it.
Alright. I liked it.
James? About Rise.
Oh, right. I liked it.
Okay. I was really anticipating Dawn on Planet of the Apes, and you know Andy Serkis reprised in his role as Caesar, and I think he was the only guy from the first film to come back to the sequel. And the plot of Dawn on Planet of the Apes is essentially, it's the
revolution.
Yeah, essentially, yeah, just revolution, and we have a few characters, human characters, and we have a lot of ape characters. We have characters that we saw in the first film, like Koba and Rocket and Maurice, and of course Caesar. And we have a few new ones, like Caesar has a son and a wife. And yeah, it's 10 years from the first film.
My thoughts on it was really fantastic. The plot was good. And the one thing I liked about it is it didn't waste any time. It just got straight into it.
I really liked it, but
thank you.
When I get round to thinking about it, overall.
We'll talk spoilers later on.
No, it's just when I was thinking about it, because when we were sat there, I kind of guessed a few things that ended up happening, so it was a bit
predictable.
Whereas Rise, you didn't quite know what was going to happen.
Yeah.
But it was really good. I thought it was a really good sequel that deserves all the praise it's getting.
Yeah, my thoughts on the film was I really did like it. And I did go yesterday to see it again just to get because we saw it at midnight, and I was just tired. I was shattered, so I went back yesterday just to refresh my mind on it a bit more. And it's better than the first viewing. I will say it does get better. It's better knowing stuff that happens, and I think Andy Serkis, everyone's giving him praise, rightfully so. He's amazing as Caesar. I think he's better in Rise though than he was in this film, but he was still fantastic as Caesar in this film. But someone that not many people are giving credit to
is
Toby Kebbell, who played Koba.
To me,
I just thought he was very good.
Yeah.
The human actor, Jason Clarke, who's the main human protagonist, he was good. I think he was better than I thought he would have been. Whereas Gary Oldman, I didn't think he was in it as much as I thought he would.
It's one of my least favourite Gary Oldman roles because...
But at the same time, it's not a bad Gary Oldman role.
There was one... It was one part where...
Was it with the iPad?
Yeah, I was just kind of like, oh, that was just thrown in there.
Yeah, that's exactly why.
Yeah, I was like, oh...
However, second viewing, it's kind of more like... But yeah, it does feel like... Do you feel emotion?
Like there was nothing.
Do you feel emotion about him then?
It's Gary Oldman
of
crying.
Course
It's like, well, yeah, I feel upset, but then I just thought that's kind of come out of nowhere.
You said it got predictable. At first it seemed like, oh, are they going to do like an Avatar thing? It was like, oh, the humans have to bond with the apes to fight the other humans and all that jazz. When it didn't do that, but a predictable thing. I can't say it would be spoiler, but there was a character that left the story that I kind of knew who was an idiot and a human. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
As soon as something, it's like when he says, "Oh, one a chance," and he broke that chance, and I was like, well, of course he's gonna, and he did, which was, and there were predictable moments, but there wasn't that many. I wouldn't say it's like it did a good job being a sequel. As well as being a prequel, without being too predictable.
One thing I'd say, without trying to give too much away, is
it's really hard.
Kobar is definitely
Kobar
is definitely an awesome character
Yeah.
in this, just because of like how he fits into the story. Generally as well.
It's
just
cool that they...
from the start, though, but you just think, oh god, it's
Not
going to
really
push.
from the start though.
Yeah, I'd say to me, I kind of, I thought, he's got,
but
maybe
it's-
that's a predictability.
But it's like
of this.
but what I liked as well, it's like they didn't just make up another character. He was a character from Rise,
Yeah.
so we had some sort of
Some
knowledge.
history there.
I like how Rocket was in there as well, even
just a bit.
Yeah, but it's like it's nice to see him there. It's like you know because he was Caesar's bully in the first film,
I know.
and he's like, there's a moment where it's like, it's like, Rocket, don't you want to do this? He's like, I follow Caesar. I don't know what exactly that, but it's like,
I follow
yeah,
Caesar. It's just like
it's like, wow, he actually, has grown respect for him, considering he was the jerk in the first film.
Yeah.
Well, the ape jerk.
the Apes,
Not Malfoy. The soundtrack was very good.
Yeah, I really like the song.
Some people were complaining about how there were points where it's like, it kind of went like, but that was the original soundtrack. It's like, it was cool just hearing that.
When they're coming across the bridge to
it
be
was-
with the
it's
humans,
It's like, oh!
Like, I think people who complain about that music
Don't know about
don't get offended at this, but they're not educated enough on the Planet of the Apes
Yeah.
series to understand and really appreciate
But
it.
what I like about these two films, you don't you don't need to be that educated in the films.
No, you don't.
There's like little Easter eggs thrown in.
Yeah.
But there's nothing like you have to watch the other films to understand it.
It's not selling the other
It's
one.
like in Rise when there was all the Charlton Heston.
Yeah.
And then
If
Caesar
you
was
don't-
building the
If you don't know, it doesn't matter.
But if you know,
it's a nice little.
yeah.
Yeah, it's nice.
Like when they're the Lost in Space
Yeah.
newspaper.
Oh yeah, that was great. Yeah,
Yeah.
I did pick that up the first time I watched it. I'm gonna put my Gary head on. The cinematography.
I was waiting for this.
Yeah.
It's really good.
Yeah, the shots were very good. The fight scenes were steady cam. You could actually see what was going on. When there was a fight scene between two apes, it was like, oh my god, because you could actually see what was happening, and you weren't like, what's happening?
The big battle.
Oh,
That
dude,
was the best part.
amazing.
the shot that sticks out in my mind is the tank shot, where the camera's like just hooked up to the tank.
360 tank shot.
Yeah, and it's
That
just
was
like,
really good.
I was like, oh, this is... And then it's like, the one thing I like about this film as well is that, unlike Rise, like the original Planet of the Apes, you side with humans over apes.
Yeah.
In Rise of the Planet of the Apes, you just side with the apes over humans. With this film, you see both sides and you're like, I root for the apes because Caesar's awesome, but I can see, but it's like, these guys need power. Like this, like they need to survive.
You see both sides of the, of the problem,
Which is kind of like why I understand
and you
more the
expand on
iPad
both
thing.
as well, yeah.
And one of the best shots in the entire film, which has also given me a new fear, it's a fear of a monkey on horseback,
Yeah.
dual wielding Uzis,
That
firing
was
them
so-
at screen
that was so
in
awesome.
front of fire. That's the thing we've got to talk about, was the CG.
Oh,
It's some
definitely.
of the best CG.
I wanted to, before we go into spoiler and say just overall thoughts about the film, the set design was just beautiful.
Everything about this
when you
film was
first
great.
went to the ape thing and there was that massive
Yeah.
tunnel of just twigs and broken.
That was really
But what I got a flat, like when they're going through the wreckage city with all the leaves growing, I got a very Last of Us vibe from it. It looked very much,
it did.
Some of it reminded me, like the twig bit reminded me of, like kind of the design for Skull Island and the new King Kong. Kind of give me that, like it's an advanced primitive feel to it.
What I also like is like not like all humans don't like for all they know the humans think that they're the last ones. As far as the apes know, these humans that they saw are just the only ones left.
Yeah.
There's probably another city out there that's like we're the last ones out there, which I like so much because they just lost communication. They lost power just overall.
This is probably an obvious thing, but the apes are just they're the only site of apes. The other buildings are just the virus, aren't they? The other cities are just the virus.
Yeah. I just want to go back to the apes a bit, like the acting wise. I mean, Circus, Kebbell, great. The guy who played the son was good. I thought.
Yeah,
he was really good. It's like I think the ape acting was just much more superior.
And even though he had one line,
Maurice.
the Maurice line was very.
Yeah, and then he looked real. Like some apes looked like from a distance you can think, okay, I can see that. Maurice looked like an ape.
And the scene where
Orangutan.
The visual. This is the best visual effects of the year. Like, this is without a doubt. Like,
To
I
me,
can't
this
say...
is better than Days of Future Past for me.
Visual effects, yes.
I just say all around actually.
It's
on par. Yeah, we'll talk about that later.
Visual effects is the best one so far. I don't think any visual effects are going to beat it this year. I don't think Interstellar...
Transformers?
And the final fight scene was just epic. It was almost like Vader and Luke levels of just epic, I thought. We'll get more into that again.
Can we go to the spoiler part? There's so much more to talk about.
But the visual effects, great. I think it did get predictable at points, I thought.
But it was kind of nice because...
When we're in spoiler share, I'll talk about where I thought it was predictable.
It was kind of nice because, you know, you didn't feel alienated from it. You just thought, oh, I can kind of see that happen. You're like, yeah, that's nice.
I kind of had a bit of a about the ending. It was literally like, tune in next time for War of the Planet of the Apes.
That was kind of like the first film, wasn't it? You know.
The first film felt like it could have just been that one film.
No, I don't think that.
No, it could have been because we do. In a way, if you think about it, it's like because they say, "Oh, it's a prequel to Planet of the Apes." You could have just guessed what happens from then on.
Yeah, but then you know that. That would have been too ambiguous. I think it would have.
It wouldn't have been that.
It would have been not.
It would have.
If there wasn't a sequel, I wouldn't have liked the ending of Dawn. Sorry. No, Rise. Yeah.
I feel like you could watch Rise and you'd be fine not to watch Dawn.
Oh, no,
like if you don't want to watch Dawn, which you should, but it's like Rise. I agree, it leaves on a cliffhanger, but it doesn't leave on like as big of a cliffhanger. Right, what were you going to say? Last thoughts before?
Last thoughts is I don't think it would have been as not remembered as such, but I think a lot of people would have complained more about it if there was no Dawn Planet of the Apes. If it was just Rise and that was it. Because then people would have said like, well, there's too much left out to be made up to your own judgment, you know.
I could relatively just guess, like, alright.
Well, you could guess, but you could be so wrong. But you could be so right.
But in a way, if they didn't make a Dawn, no one knows if you're right or wrong.
That's what I'm saying, but I'm glad they did. I'm glad they picked
I'm glad they made another film. I'm just saying you could, like, Rise feels like more of its own thing.
You could, but then that's like saying...
Dawn is more... Like, you need to watch.
Well, yeah, but then that's like saying at the end of Empire Strikes Back, oh, that's it.
Yeah, I'm not saying... It's like...
Oh, no, I'm just saying, like...
Empire doesn't have a beginning and an end. It is the middle. I'm looking for... If they do a third one...
They are. The amount of reception and money that this is.
And if Matt Reeves comes back to direct this, as much as I loved Rupert Wyatt directing Rise, and I was upset when he dropped out and Matt Reeves was directing it, Rupert Wyatt made a good revitalization to the Apes name. Matt Reeves made a good film. Like, he made a good looking film and a well-made film with good cinematography, good editing, good soundtrack. Great acting, overall just great. Yeah. And overall I really did enjoy Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, and I do recommend that you should go and see it. It is worth a second viewing as well. It does get better when you watch it. Because when I first watched it, I wasn't all hyped over it.
Oh, God,
watching it again, I was more like, oh, this was a great film.
Yeah.
So yeah, I really do like the film. Your overall thoughts, William?
Really fantastic film. I think it'll get more people interested in the Planet of the Apes franchise as a whole.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people will be revisiting the original films. I think this is a nicer way of making people remember a great cultural film of its time than just, saying, oh, let's just do a complete remake and just ruin everything. But yeah, overall, loved it.
James, overall thoughts on Dawn?
I thought it was very good. I liked it more than Rise.
I think it's on the same level for me.
I liked it just a little bit more than Rise because it had more consistency.
I think I was more surprised by Rise, though. But that's why I might prefer it a little bit better.
When they round up the films, I like the
trilogy
as a whole.
Hopefully it's just a trilogy.
And now that it's the way that it ended, I actually liked it because now it's like, I can't.
Bring on the next one.
Bring on
the next.
Probably the final one.
Yeah. So guys, thanks for watching this review. We are now going to be talking spoilers, either there or over near James is where the spoiler text will be. So if you haven't seen Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, go and see it. Get out, leave this video, come back and watch it. So spoilers.
Right.
This will be longer than the actual.
Did you notice that the ending was a parallel from Rise?
Yeah.
How they parted and then they all bowed as like they originally went up the tree. That's what I was saying. I liked it, the parallel, and then the opening shot and.
Yeah. But it's like in the opening shot, Caesar looked Like he looked
peed off.
Yeah.
And at the end, he looked like he was ready.
Scared.
Yeah.
That Caesar looked scared. He was like, it's like he had that face. It's like he didn't give like a big inspirational speech like we will conquer, we will do. It's like they all just and he's like, we might not make it out.
But to me, it's
we all know they do.
It's a concerned look, which to me is the same look the orangutan doctor gives in the original. Because when the humans come, when he comes back, he's like, God, it's them again.
Yeah.
He's probably. I mean, what would be cool is if he was featured in the next film, like as either a young ape, and then so he's seen it all.
I think Maurice had a kid, and Maurice had a kid.
Yeah,
and
then it's Dr. Zayas, and then so he's seen it all. He knows the terrors that mankind has done. Well, when Charlton Heston comes back.
Spoiler for the original, but it's a 50-year-old film.
But some people might not have watched it, James.
No, well, they can
go see. Honestly,
I think
go see the original.
I think what are you on about the not the Eiffel Tower? This time
no.
That would have
been good. Oh, the apes are attacking.
Dr. Zayas at the end.
Sorry, French viewers. It's just a parody.
We've invented Scotland and now France. This is just magical.
Dr. Zayas at the end of the original, he says, "I've known. I've always known." So that could actually work.
Andy Serkis.
We both have good ideas for this. God damn it.
Andy Serkis. He has a presence in this film. It's like whenever, it's like when Kerbal was like, when Caesar was like, just let them do their human work. Human work. And then Caesar
went, yeah, that's what I just said. Human work.
And then Caesar just stood up. You were like, oh,
that's the thing.
Fudge going down.
That's the thing. You can empathise because he has that is human work.
But Kerbal was sick. He was a sick monkey. Sorry, no prejudice.
Caesar's line when he says, "Corbo only knows humans from hate.
Yeah.
Nothing."
I think most of the apes do. I think Caesar's like the only one who knows like James Franco. Before
that scene.
Oh, when he looks at the camera.
He goes, "Why does he want to go here?" Shut. And
I was just like, oh, that was great.
The window. And
the one time I didn't wear my shirt.
Yeah, I know. And then when Blue Eyes drew the thing through, it was like, oh, Caesar's back.
Yeah.
Even though he wasn't, it was like Caesar's here.
The presence.
He was there in presence.
One of my favourite shots in the entire film was at the end.
Many
when Caesar turns away to the apes. And you see the main cat, I can't remember his name.
Jason Clarke.
And he
Malcolm.
backs up into the darkness.
Yeah, and he's just gone.
It's like how people are fading away into the darkness.
It's like you mentioned about like the shadow effect on like how they did the shadow effect. It's like I was on about the one where it's like when idiot McGee, the flipping shotgun and the stupid revolver who shouldn't have been there in the first place when he shot.
I'm with the stupid Ed cap on.
When he shot Ash to begin with, you were like, no, you're staying here, you idiot. And then he pulls a shotgun out. It's like, what do you expect, you moron? And then he's like getting pulled away saying, you're staying in the car for 2 days. He's like, this is bull. It's like, idiot.
You're going to shoot half of them. You're going to wipe them out in a single day. Oh, I'm just a butterfingers.
It's like, moron.
Caesar's like, God damn it.
But it's like when he lit the cigarette and then you see Kerber's face and it's like, that's scary.
That was like, in Leon, where he just backs into the darkness and he's just gone. And just like that. Milk.
About the predictability of it, it's that was a bit because it's saying that they started having a nice moment.
Yeah.
And you think that obviously something bad's going to happen. And the other one was
the Leon thing, but go on.
where she says, "Oh, I'm a doctor. You need me to come along." And then in the next shot, she sees his wife's sick.
Yeah.
This is never gonna cross over at any point in the film.
Yeah. The predictable thing I was on about was when Idiot got killed.
Yeah.
I'm gonna call him Idiot or Tank Guy from Walking Dead. But it's like as soon as he pulled the shotgun, I was like, well, he's gonna die. Like somehow. Yeah. It's like when we first saw him and he shot Ash, I was like, okay, I understand that. He's scared of ringing apes.
Did you notice something?
Oh, there was a scene.
The black guy who was there and the other dude
who looked like Cole.
No,
he looked like Walter.
They just disappeared.
Yeah.
It's never explained what happened to them. They just sort of disappear at one point.
Like Leon.
There was a scene, I think it was, to me, the most heartbreaking scene, which to me was not expected at all, was when Cobra killed Ash. when he picked
Oh, I do.
that,
Yeah.
my God, I actually thought, you
See,
and then
evil mother ape.
and then he just turned and he was like, Apes, follow cover now.
When he dragged him up the stairs, I thought he was just going to throw him down the stairs and then go.
And then he
follow me.
went. So yeah.
He did it was a Darth Vader, the Emperor.
It was more like kind of horrific when you just he went went out of shot and then the silence. It's like, oh my
And then
God.
that to me, that was the best single use of their emotion, when they're just all just looking at Cobra and Cobra's like,
It's like
just
it's like if you think Cobra didn't have a gun, freaking Blue Eyes could have went. Apes follow Blue Eyes.
One thing that really made
just red versus blue.
one thing that really was when in the final scene on the fight,
Yeah.
when shut up is when Maurice got hit in the head with a bullet. Maurice cannot die. He's too cool.
He got drugged out and he like walked. He was like, oh, I'm fine.
That's
That was
I'm a bit hard on fire.
Also, do you remember when you could hear the monkeys in the credits?
Yeah.
And you had
at the very end.
Or apparently, what it is, it's you can hear rubble, and then you can hear a monkey like obviously doing something. People are saying,
Just that phrase.
people are saying that it might be Cobra.
Nah.
Because I think he hit the suspender thing.
He's dead.
Then he landed on the
Oh, just crush a fan theory up.
yeah,
What do you think?
I think he landed on the suspender, so it stopped his fall. Then he landed on the he landed on the what do you call it, the crane.
Yeah.
And that fell down. He might have survived if it slowed down as it went.
Cobra's dead. He's gone. There's no way he would have survived that. Ape or no ape, he's dead.
Also, something we didn't.
Ape on the way.
The something we didn't mention was the opening. The whole part with the map. In
Oh yeah, when Obama was
that
like,
was really good.
ape.
You know,
Evil.
I misheard you there. I thought you said the Obama ape. I was like, what the hell was the Obama ape?
I just-
He was hard to fight.
I just liked how, as it got further and further through, the red dots started disappearing, and then it just went quiet as all the infected people
The one,
died.
it's like the shot I was on about was when Jason Clarke went back to get a medical kit, and he was legging it, and then the camera looked down, and you see Apes just bursting through the door, and he's like, and he run round, Apes burst through the door, he missed.
That was really. That
It was
reminds me of
tense.
something like a heavy rain. That,
Because it's one shot as well, and then the shot ends with him like, and then it pans around. You see an ape silhouette, like and then Blue Eyes come to the house, just
Yeah.
like,
And he's got a gun, and he's like, oh, don't do it.
and then he's just like, wait, your father, he's alive. He's like,
There's another trait as well. We saw apes putting people into pens, which is obviously going to lead up to.
The humans got out.
That's going to be
The humans got out.
That's going to be a thing. I want to know how people become like they do in the original.
Yeah.
You know, just the mute native types.
Yeah.
Or when Caesar eventually just nukes human race.
See, to me, that's my problem with. Drop the bomb. Like to me, like to me, like
Pull the lever!
I know. Pull the lever, Kronk! And then I think like to me, that would wrong lever. Like that's
The
my
ship drops.
that's my problem with there being only one more film. I think are they going to be able to explain everything
Yes.
in one?
Unless they skip another 10 years or so.
I don't think we need. It's like we need. All we need next is the apes to win the war, and then we can piece it together for
It might
ourselves.
probably a 3-hour film or something. No.
Hey, you know.
I could do
I'll
a
be
3
fine
hours
with
of
that.
monkeys.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll be fine with that.
Yeah.
But another great shot was again the tank shot where you
That was
explained
good.
Yeah.
The one disappointing thing in the
the-
film was Gary Oldman.
Yeah.
A lot of people say that, but
could've-
I honestly think it's because he was Gary Oldman and we were all expecting him to be a
If
bigger
you-
role.
if you'd
If
have
it was
put-
anyone else, we would be fine with it.
If anyone's ever just like,
But Gary Oldman was
Yeah.
good for what he was in.
Yeah, I just
He
didn't,
was
didn't
good,
like his character.
I
Didn't
just-
want to him in any way.
I just didn't like the character.
Yeah.
I just thought,
Really, I liked it better. I thought I would have.
No.
I thought
it's just like, oh God, you know.
really, you didn't really feel like you didn't understand what he was going when he was like, "I'm protecting the human race," and he just blew himself up. You didn't like feel for like.
And yeah,
what
and he says I'm
meant.
human of human race. The tower doesn't collapse and there's one on-screen death. That one ape that's dead. That's all.
No, but it's like you didn't. But did you understand why he did? Because I really felt like, okay, if I was in his shoes, I would be like that.
No, he just looked like a dick who had a problem.
What? Because he was afraid for the entirety of the human race getting destroyed.
Well, like,
when you're in that situation,
yeah,
you're not thinking straight. You're just
you're
like,
not thinking straight.
I just
but
thought
he
he was a
didn't-
really poorly written villain.
He wasn't a villain. It was Cobra that was the villain.
Well, he was the human.
Well,
but
He
anyway.
wasn't even really a villain. He was just.
Anti-hero then.
He wasn't even. He was
the
just.
antagonist, whatever. The big baby who spat his dummy out. He was that. I just didn't really like the character. It's
So
not
worst film ever.
It's not because I got immediately, you know.
What did you think of when Caesar got shot?
Oh,
I knew he wouldn't die.
Fields
I knew
trip.
it.
Well, I was dubious. I thought because I genuinely thought initially he won't die, but then I thought, well, no, this film surprised me so far.
We've
Who
had
knows?
too many fake out deaths within 2014. I was expecting it.
I was actually half and half about it because I thought they've introduced his son.
Yeah.
And his son's gonna. His son's following the bad guy.
Yeah.
At the end, he can sort of come up with.
Here's what I thought, like, why they wouldn't kill him. First of all, I heard everyone was like, Andy Serkis is purely amazing, and then I didn't see anything purely amazing from him. And when he got shot, I was like, well, I haven't seen anything groundbreaking from him yet. Or he's not going to be dead yet. And another reason why I didn't think he was going to be dead as well, it's like, we haven't. It's like, yeah, we kind of got to know all the apes. We don't know them as well as Caesar. We're not going to replace Caesar with his son or with like Rocket. We're not replacing Caesar with these apes that we kind of know. It's like I knew. It's like if the Dark Knight. It's like, hey Batman, boom, oops, sorry.
To me, it was a miracle how long Caesar had held out until the final.
Yeah.
I was like, you're a stubborn nape, aren't
The
you?
one thing I did start down. I was like, oh, is he actually dead? When it's like we saw him there, and he just had like his eyes were just open, and I was like, oh wait, did they actually? And then he moved, and I was like, oh no, he's not dead.
Look him off.
What about the scene where he's watching the footage of him and James?
That was the whole. I'd say that
I felt
Dawn was a much more emotionally captivating film than Rise was to me because it just.
it's even for me. I think.
I just thought it was really, it's just really good.
I think a lot of the James Franco stuff was really forced. Like,
really fun.
like it was literally just like, do you remember that? Do you remember the first film?
Well, no,
Do
it
you
kind of
remember
it did.
It was
not.
just as forced as the Gary Oldman thing.
Well,
It was
no,
just
because-
as, yes,
No,
it
because it was just he's looking back because
Because he's
no,
dead.
No,
in story it's been 10 years
One thing I know, like,
and he thinks that he's dying, so he wants to go home.
yeah, but how would he know the way?
I don't know what.
How would he know the way?
He's a
He
super
died-
intelligent.
He's a
monkey.
super intelligent ape.
He's so super intelligent that he didn't know that he didn't
He
dodge
spent
out the
like-
way from Cobra shooting
He spent
him.
like half. He spent
Yeah,
half
he's-
his life in that house, so he's obviously going to remember.
There's a difference betwing knowing when someone's going to shoot you who you've trusted.
He
for
saw him there for like a minute. He was like,
Yeah,
Cobra,
a minute.
Cobra. Oh,
It wasn't that long.
more like 5 seconds, and he was in disbelief that he was someone
Like a
best
monkey
friend
had a
pointing
gun.
I don't care if anyone holds a gun to me. I'm just gonna be, oh, I'm out here. I don't just stand
you
and
think it's
watch
easy
it.
to dodge a bullet. Remember, a bullet travels a faster projectile. than
Yeah,
this
but
is-
Cobra had the gun like that, and then he went like that.
This is-
If anyone is if he does that, I'm like, I'm out here. I'm not
Because he's
waiting
prob-
for him to shoot me.
Because he's probably thinking, what the... And by the time he's had that thought, he got shot.
Like, you know, there's a lot of things to consider. I mean, you're saying about it being forced. You said about the whole Gary
No, it's
Oldman.
like-
You just said the Gary Oldman thing wasn't forced.
It wasn't that far. The first viewing it was, second viewing it wasn't.
No,
it's more understandable in the second viewing.
But it's
And
not
that's,
more
and
understandable.
that's a bit different to, oh look, he's a picture of him with someone, and then he watches a little bit of footage.
No, right. The thing, I like the scene, but yeah, I just felt that scene was a good scene, but it did feel very like Hollywood. It did feel.
It's a film!
Says you critiques every little tiny bit, and this is we're reviewing it. We need to critique things, and this isn't.
God damn it. Hold on.
Corbett acting like a monkey, like an actual monkey. What about that scene?
That was
When he looks really threatening at them. And he starts doing the... I just love how he walks away, he goes like, oh, like, that's...
Yeah.
Why did I have to do that?
And then it's like.
I just...
like he put his hands. up,
It was the part where he's got the gun and he's like...
Yeah.
It's like,
The audience.
Monkey see, monkey kill.
So, like the fight scene where it's like Cobra's like, ape no kill ape. It's like, shh. Up yours!
I wish you just said that, actually. Up yours.
Did you
Throws a banana at him.
did you notice how that was a mirror?
Like, everybody looked and sees,
No, it was a mirror of when Cobra kicked the helicopter off the bridge.
That wasn't, it was Kobe, yeah.
Yeah. So it was like...
To me, it was just like when he obviously kicked Cobra, you know, right in the groin. No, but and like when it's, you know, and then all the apes are looking at him.
It's like long live the idiot.
No, like all the apes are looking like you just broke the law. Like, you know, like,
But then he says,
I am the law.
Then he says, we think, you know,
It was
apes can be as bad. We don't know how we
It was very much so like The Dark Knight when Batman had to break that one rule and kill Two-Face. It's like, look, I don't want to do this, but I have to do this.
One detail that I did like was they're still in. They're in the apes are still in the awkward phase between talking, like knowing how to talk.
Yeah.
Not like when Cobb's talking and he's like struggling. Like, you know, he's like.
Did you?
He's like
it's snippets.
Follow, Cobra. Like he's trying to talk.
Did you feel like when it's like when even though we know Caesar talked, like that epic
I'm glad they didn't rely on it a lot. Like
that epic moment in the first one where no.
To me, I knew that was happening. I was just like,
yeah, but it's like,
but
it's like honestly, it's like when they came across the humans first time in Dawn, he went, go. It was still like, oh, it still felt like, oh my god, he said that. I was like, well, of course he said
that to me, you know, to me personally.
And it's like every time he talked, it's like. Because it's like...
That'd be a great alarm clock, wouldn't it? Go! Oh, God! Oh, does the invasion not happened yet?
But it's like when like the apes argue and he goes, no! It's like, oh, Caesar!
I don't know if that was the only word he could actually say.
Nice.
I do like how they use the sign language for tactics as well.
Yeah.
Like when they were trying to hunt the deer and he was using it.
The first fight between Caesar and Cobra. Not the big epic one, the fight where Cobra like... Caesar loves human
where Caesar goes trying to make Rocky on him.
And then but like you see, this is much greater than the visual effects scene and Andy Serkis. When you just see Caesar go, he looks away and he goes,
he starts going,
yeah.
And then he goes, ah! He just jumps him and just absolutely
proper going like UFC on him.
Power bombs. Stone Cold!
Batista bombs cover.
That's what he should have done. Like on the tower, he just.
And then the Cloud just goes. Overall thoughts then on Rise, Dawn. God damn it!
Yeah, this was.
I know.
I wouldn't say it's like unlike because I wasn't extremely hyped for Rise, so that blew me out the water. This one I was really hyped for, so I wouldn't say it met my expectations, which is just as much as I can ask for it to do. I still prefer, like, as of this year, X-Men, personally for me. Well, that's because after X-Men I was really like, yeah, whoa! Like, I was really, with Dawn I was like, that was a good movie, but I wasn't like, all hyped up about it.
See, for X-Men afterwards I was kind of, you know, after X-Men I was like, only after the credits I was like, oh my god, yeah! But then with this I was out.
Being comparable films, but I'm on about like just
to me, the experience, I was left breathless at this, so I was kind of like, wow, that was a great movie.
Other way around for us too, but yeah. It's like, but Apes is up there as one of my favourites of the year. So
about you?
I think I like Dawn better because it adds there was more character development.
I think I might
on the Apes more.
Yeah.
But I like both of them.
Yeah. Where would you say this? Like, would you say this is high in your list for so far? Godzilla's still number one though for you. Yeah. So guys, thanks for watching.
This extremely long review.
I'm gonna have a while to edit this.
I think you're done by the time the next one comes out.
Yeah, maybe. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed this. We all enjoyed Dawn.
Yeah. Someone didn't because he didn't wear a t-shirt.
I like how you looked at me as if like, yeah, I'll wait. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching, and
shirt's too big.
It's for me. And we shall see you later, and bye-bye. It's time for you to go back to the cage, Caesar. First shot, boom, Caesar's face, and then we're into it.
Yeah. Naruto.
Have you looked? Seriously?
I'm off for 10. And he's
Are you serious?
Kind of bothered.
What? Where did you sat on it?
Right, yeah.
Put it there.
Just
leave it where
Can we start this review?
Can we start this review again?
No.
I'm not prepared.
Don't have my plastic teeth then. Bottom on the top, top on the bottom.
We're just going to edit that bit out.
No.
You can't have a review like this. You can't. He claims to be professional.
Sorry about that. Hello? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Just one thing for me. Yeah. Most likely, yeah. Yeah. Right. Bye.
Wow, professional.
Cut to it.